Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of that show that will not be named, and for this video, I'm mad. So, therefore, we are going to take this wonderful fro that is already dried and taken shape, and we're gonna pull it right back. Pull it right back into the upright, pissed off, locked positions. And then we're gonna take these babies and put them right on, because this is an intellectual episode. This is gonna be some saucy shit. I expect bloodshed in the comments. I expect minor harsh words of playful insultedry, making that word up for this video. Because today, I'm going to tell you, yes you, the unintellectual, why Family Guy is still funny. Give me a sec. Okay. Family Guy. First off, I'm going to address the biggest issues with Family Guy. Starting with, it's not funny anymore because I don't like the cutaway gags. They're lazy, they're stupid, and I'm tired of seeing them. He uses them all the time. Okay, first off, asshole. Seth MacFarlane, or whoever the Mac McFarlane, the guy, not the guy who wrote Spawn, the guy who made Family Guy. He uses cutaway gags because that is one of the signatures in the show. That's like having that 70s show without them sitting in the basement smoking weed. That's like Batman 1960s without any of the giant words popping up on screen. That's like Sheldon without saying bazinga. Sorry. That was a bad example. I do take that back. That was uncalled for. Anyways, it's a signature of the show. That's like in South Park. Oh my god, they killed Kenny. Cutaways are a part of the show. That's part of the comedy. That's part of the things that was established in the show. Not only that, but I noticed that when people started to complain about it in Family Guy, they actually started to get clever with it. They actually started doing things where, like, showing you what was going on when a cutaway was happening instead of going to the cutaway. Or doing it, full episodes without one. And I'm like, you know what? That completely diminishes that point. Nobody can say shit about that. And you know what I noticed the thing is? People that complain about it now is, well, the characters changed so much. Brian's just a liberal douchebag now. Lois is just awful. Meg is terrible. She used to be sympathizable. Did I make that up word too? I don't know. You're going to get a lot of made-up words in the next month. I'm feeling very creative and autistic. Oh, by the way, I don't mean to disparage any autistic people. I apologize for that comment. It was rude and inconsiderate. And please don't shut my channel down. Thank you. Anyways, heading back to it, most of the people that seem to not think it's funny anymore are just like, I don't really know how to put it in the word. Most of the people that I've been talking to that are like, "Ooh, it's not funny, I'd be like, okay, your ass is sitting down and your ass is watching a new episode. I don't care. And he sits down and he watches an episode and he likes it. He loves it. And I'm doing this with other people. Everyone who tells me that Family Guy sucks ass or that it's not funny anymore, I'm forcing them to sit down and watch it. And they're sitting down and watching it and they're going, this is pretty good. And I'm like, gee, I wonder why. Maybe because you're just listening to the fucking masses of assholes who are on the whole, modern animation is so terrible. That's the same people who are taking, first of all, Rick and Morty. That's another thing I'm throwing into the mix here. It's a good show. It's funny. And the only reason people are going, it's intellectual, all it does is use references and the only people who are making that argument are the people who are tired of the fan base. And in that situation, hate the fan base, not the show. But essentially, going back to Family Guy, all these people that seem to dislike it are just going off of what everyone else is saying, what other people are saying. And I guarantee if I were to take those other people and sit those other people down, they'd still enjoy it. Because it just seems to be, it's like this need to just bitch and whine about these shows. It's, oh, well, this doesn't compare to the newest episode of South Park. By the way, I'm doing a whole episode on South Park later on. You just wait. But everything about it, like the reasons behind it are just fucking dumb. And that's the biggest reason is, the cutaways. Because they can't pick and choose anything else to bitch about. Other than the fact that, what was the other things? They don't like how the characters, that was it. They don't like how the characters have changed. Boy, the characters haven't been the same since like season 3. Everybody's changed in season 3. And you're only now complaining about that? How many? 15 seasons later? Get your head out of your ass. Those are pretty much two of the biggest reasons that I hear people. Also, it's just not funny anymore. It's just not fun. Come on. Sit down, watch an episode. The other day, I was watching a scene. It was so simple, and it wasn't like usual Family Guy humor. Like, I know people like to generalize the genre under Family Guy humor. And there was a scene on the other day I was watching. It was probably an oldish episode, a few seasons ago, or whatever. And it's where Peter and the guys, they murder this dude. And there's Bob, they're playing like radio music or whatever, and there's Bob Dylan, and he wrote a song called, You, Joe, Cleveland, and whatever, buried a guy by the cemetery. That's the name of the song in the show. And he plays it on the radio, and it's just this whole build-up scene where they're just like talking about it, and Peter's getting freaked out because he thinks that Lois knows, and he keeps running back into the room, yada yada. And then the next scene at the bar, like, however long later, he's like, how you guys doing? And then Joe says something to the effect of, nothing much, but there's a Bob Dylan song you're not going to fucking believe. That had me rolling. That was like one of those jokes that's very out there. Plus, I noticed that Family Guy, nobody ever gives Family Guy credit for this. You ever notice Family Guy always hurls shit at stuff that no one talks about? It always talks about, it like addresses things that happen with people that no one talks about. Like shit with either middle-aged women, or shit that guys that are into sports do, or guys that are super obsessed with the army do. It's just these little things that people do and nobody talks about it. Everyone's thinking it, but nobody says it. And Family Guy does that. It addresses it, and it addresses it fucking hilariously. Usually through Stewie. He's always the one, picking and pointing shit. But what's funny, I notice a large amount of people, and this I think is a rather, to hold back in your seats for this one, this is a bit of a, this spans over into conspiracy theory territory. I think a fraction of the people that don't like Family Guy are millennials. And a fraction of the reason is that because Brian, of all people, the biggest liberal prick in that entire show, fucking mocks this shit. His very presence is mocking liberals. And that pisses them off. So it's like, we're being portrayed in a negative light. I don't like this. Let's, in a mass, completely rebel against it. And that, I think, is a heavy part of it, is I think all these people are starting to see all these characters in themselves. All these people getting mocked and shit on, they're starting to see reflections of that. And we don't want to see that. We want to see things where the people we disagree with get shit on. And come on, you gotta admit, Family Guy shits on everybody. Like, I know there's this one guy, there was this one fucking guy, I'll make a video about him later, I forget his name, but he bitches about cartoons, like cartoon travesties or some shit. And he was complaining about an episode of Family Guy where whatchamacallit? Quagmire's sister's getting beaten by some guy. And he goes into this whole thing about how the episode, this isn't portrayed well. Look at this. Take this seriously. Take it so seriously. And I'm like, for one, it's a fucking comedy show. And sure, you have some of those, like, odd there scenes, but I don't think the episode was really meant to, portray, like, here, this is how you deal with this situation by just letting it happen. Because that seems to be what he was leading into, was, this show's pretty much telling you if you see someone getting beaten, don't do anything about it. Which, obviously, isn't the message here. But in the ending of the episode, the dude gets killed violently. And I think that was more the point. It was more like, no, you know what? I don't even think there was a point to it. If there is one, then I'll let the creator speak for it. But when I saw it, I thought it was amusing. I thought it was, okay, here's serious subject matter, and the only thing I'm thinking through it, let's be honest, watching the whole episode where Quagmire's sister's getting beaten, did you really think, gee, I really wish this guy goes to jail? Or were you thinking, gee, I really wish someone would run over his fucking head with a boulder? Yeah. Everyone was thinking number 2. And that's what happened. Hence, satisfying episode. And at the same time, it was able to get in some of the regular jokes. But I think that it was just taking the subject matter of the episode and I think overthinking it. Like that guy was taking it into account of as if it was a South Park episode where every fiber of the episode focused on that subject. And I don't think it was like that at all in Family Guy. Family Guy, that just seemed to be that was the theme of the week. That was the theme of that episode. And how they went about it was their own way. But he was reading into it like, no, the entire fiber of the episode is completely, like, if every second does not address this thing and does not address it in the way that I see fit, then it is no good. It is shit. And it was handled terribly. And it's a comedy show. Take a fucking breath. Will you, please? Fucking relax. But that was just this one guy's over reading to it. I mean, and a lot of people may say, oh, you're just being sour about it. This guy went on a rant about how an episode where SpongeBob falls in love with a sandwich is teaching our kids, misguided sexual identity. So don't even, I can't even fucking start about this guy right now. I'll be on a rant for hours. This guy's just a retard. Cartoon Atrocities. Animated Atrocities. That's the guy's fucking channel. Jesus Christ. Literally nitpicks the shit out of stuff. Just, it's not amusing. It's not funny. It's just fucking annoying. I watch his episodes. It's like I want to scream at him in person. But people like that, don't be like Animated Atrocities, where you just fucking nitpick every little fucking thing. Or, I don't like the fan base to the show, therefore the show itself is shit. I mean, I'd say, in Steven Universe's standards, I am justified. I watch Steven Universe. I fucking hate it. It just seems to be a bonus that I don't like the fan base, but I just don't like it. Sorry. But I think that's going to do it for this video, and the glasses are coming off. Oh. The Bob Ross makeshift hairdo is coming back. Let's all breathe in, breathe out. And I expect death threats in the comments. Alrighty, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me on another episode of that show that will not be named. Once again, really gotta think of a name for it. Please leave some comments in the section below. And don't do anything like the Go Fuck Yourself show or the Your Presence on This Site Sucks show, which I know some of you who just watched this are thinking, no, I'm not psychic. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I'll see you guys next time. Adios. Bye.